Namaste yogis, and welcome back. The 6 keys to spiritual success then, and they are enthusiasm, perseverance, discernment, courage, unshakable faith, and inspiring company. And now it's important to remind ourselves of the 4 principles of living yoga, so we don't hurt ourselves and we stay self-responsible as we're doing our sadhana. Number 1, sukha, go easy, don't push with ego. 2, spanda, the pulse. You're going to expand and contract the body, which will then lead to 3, lila. You'll be able to play your edges. You'll be able to nudge against the painful boundaries in your body. Before 4, purna, bringing it to completion or perfection for you. Now it's time for us to move on to our stage 4 of double breathing. So you can stay seated or you can bring yourself down onto the floor lying on your back. Stage 4 requires us to do 30 breaths, 10 in the belly, 10 belly chest, 10 in the chest. So let's start with 10 in the belly, away we go. 2 more. Last one. Lower the chin, belly, chest, 10 breaths. Two more. Last one. Before we move into chest breathing. 10 breaths. Last 2. Final one. And release. Now draw a Ujjayi breath up. And holding at the top for a few seconds. Before releasing with a slow and conscious ah breath. Releasing, sending a wave of inner softening through the body. Return the head to neutral. Perform pratyahara, so turn your outwardly focused senses inside the body into this inner 6th feeling sense that we call dynamic stillness. So feeling, not thinking. Good work, yogis. It's time for our second round. So, 30 breaths, second round, 10 in the belly to begin. Away we go. 2 more. Last one. And drop the chin, belly, chest. 10 breaths. Two more breaths. Last one. Change chest. 10 breaths. Two more. Last one. And release. Now, take a Ujjayi breath up by constricting the throat. Lift your head as you do that. Holding it at the top for a few seconds. Before releasing with a slow, conscious R breath, sending a wave of inner softening rippling through your beingness. Head all the way down, and then when you're done, return the head to neutral, perform pratyahara, so turn your senses inwards, and feel. Good work, yogis. Time for our third and final round. 30 breaths, starting with 10 in the belly. Away we go. Last one. Drop the chin, belly, chest with the head movements. Two more. Last one. Change chest. Two more. Last one. And release. Fully exhale. Then lift a Ujjayi breath up as your head lifts. Holding at the top for a few seconds. releasing with a slow, conscious R-breath. Bringing the head all the way down. Then returning the head to neutral. Performing pratyahara, so turning your senses inside your body and feeling. Excellent work, yogis. You are now primed, purified, energized, relaxed, and ready for your asana practice. So you can bring yourself up onto your feet to the head of your mat, and we can begin. Now it's time for the long holds. Inhale into flying mountain. Exhale to standing forward bend. Then we're going to take an inhale into spinal extension. So bend your knees, straighten your spine, look forwards. It's downward dog on the exhale. The inhale is going to bring you into plank. And you're going to exhale into 8-point pose. So knees, chest, chin. The inhale will take you to cobra. The exhale will take you back into downward dog. And then on your next inhale, you're going to bring your knees together at the front of your mat and cross your legs behind you. Then on the exhale, you're going to roll back over onto the buttocks and straighten the legs out in front. And on the inhale, we're raising the arms above the head. And then keeping the chin up on the exhale, bending the legs too. We're coming into seated forward bend, and then you find your pulse. On the inhale, you lengthen into the spine. On the exhale, you're heading towards your knees and pushing your legs towards the floor. Now start easy, find your pulse. And we call these the long holds because we hold them for a longer period of time. But it's not a static holding, it's a dynamic pulsing. So of course we're pulsing in these longer holds. And as we gain confidence, because we've come in easy and we were able to find our pulse, we then play the edge a little bit. We nudge into the tension on the hamstrings on the exhale. So inhale to lengthen into the spine, to come off the stretch, to come off the intensity, and then an exhale to come deeper into that powerful feeling in the hamstrings. Be courageous. Final pulse. Final exhale, taking it to Purna, to completion for you. And then it's an inhale to raise the arms. We're going to head into tabletop now. So on the exhale, you're going to bring your hands behind you. You're going to bring your feet and heels in towards your buttocks. And then on the inhale, you're going to lift your hips and try and push your buttocks towards the sky. And then on the exhale, you're going to come off the stretch and soften and perhaps dip the buttocks down just a little bit. For on the inhale, we're going to push the buttocks through the front of the body up to the sky again. And again, on the exhale, we're coming off the intensity a little bit. Final pulse here now. So on the inhale, lifting, pushing the buttocks up to the sky through the front of the body. And then on the exhale, you're bringing your buttocks down towards the floor. You're going to cross your legs. And then on the inhale, you're going to put your hands in front of you. Spinal extension, look up. And then on the exhale, it's downward dog. Now our next destination is going to be plank, and that happens on an inhale. And then of course it's going to be 8-point pose on the exhale, knees just in. And then an inhale is going to slither us forward into Cobra, and this is our second long hold to find your ease. On the exhale, you might find it appropriate to dip the body down, to move the hips side to side. And on the inhale, we're opening the chest, looking up. And then again on the exhale, coming off the stretch, finding our ease, teasing the tensions out of the lower spine. Find your pulse. Sometimes you may find it appropriate to come all the way down to the floor before pulsing again on the inhale to rise into Cobra. Feel into this for yourself. See what your body wants in these moments to tease out the tensions and to play your edge. Now the lower back seems to be an area of great discomfort and sensitivity, especially for us Westerners. So you can imagine that Cobra is like medicine for our bodies. As we untangle those knots and those crevices and that decrepit Western spine. Final pulse. Final inhale to take it to Purna, to find completion for you in the pose. And then we're going through cat tilt, so you're going to round the back. And then on the inhale, we're going to take it through to dog tilt, so you're going to undulate the spine and look up. And then we're going into baby, so cross the big toes over, bring your buttocks down towards your heels, chest to the floor. We'll spend a pulse here. Okay, final exhale now. Then we're going to head into spinal twist, and we're going to get there through swan. So left knee forward to left thumb, heel across. Then on the exhale, you're going to bring your right leg over the left knee. You're going to crumple your spine, so bending forwards. Then on the inhale, the right hand's going to come behind you. The left hand's going to shoot up to the sky. And then on the exhale, the left hand's going to come around the right leg, and you're in the base position for spinal twist. The pulse works on the inhale to lengthen into the spine, twist towards the front of the room. Then on the exhale, to wring your spinal column out like a chamois, twisting towards the back of the room. And you find your pulse. Again, this posture is like medicine for the spine and for the abdominal organs. You can feel the pressure that your thigh is placing on your abdomen. This gives you that abdominal massage that you just would not have got had you not compressed your stomach in this way. Final pulse now. Final exhale, bringing it to completion or Purna for you. Then we're going to switch sides, and to do that, you literally just change the legs over. And on an exhale, crumple the spine forwards. On your next inhale, you're going to create your support structure. So inhale brings the left hand back and the right arm up to the sky, looking up to the fingertips. Then on the exhale, you're going to bring the right arm around the left leg, and you're in the base position for spinal twist. Find your pulse. Inhale to lengthen into the spine, open the chest, look forwards. On the exhale, twisting towards the back of the room as if you're wringing out your spinal column like a wet chamois. So, as we get confident and comfortable in this posture, we're of course playing our edge. And what we want to make sure is happening is that our feet, our front foot is flat on the floor, and that so is our buttock. Final exhale now. Okay, on the inhale, you're going to adjust your legs so that you're cross-legged at the front of the mat. And on the exhale, you're going to roll into ball pose. So knees are above your head and hands are supporting your lower spine. On the inhale, you're creating a solid foundation, doing any wiggling that you need. Before on the exhale, you're pushing your hips into your hands so you create a 45-degree angle with your spine. And on the inhale, you're lifting your legs above you, and we call this half shoulder stand. You find your pulse. So you're exhaling now. And then creating an inhale in your body. Now what you'll find is that your chest is probably quite tight, and what we're doing here with the pulse action essentially is very subtle. Can you align your breathing in this posture? The gravity is forcing blood from your feet to your head and is contracting your chest, and for a lot of us we find that really hard to breathe in that posture. And so our pulse is to find our ease with our breathing here, whilst holding this posture firm so that the prana and the blood can get into our brain and our thyroid. Final inhale now. On the exhale, you're going to bring your knees down towards your head into ball pose and cross your legs. And then the inhale, you're going to roll up into cross-legged at the front of your mat. We're going to head into fish pose. To do this, on the exhale, you're going to plug your thumbs into your lower back, come onto your forearms, and the pulse works on the inhale to open the chest. On the exhale, you can rest your head back. And on the inhale, opening the chest. And then the exhale comes off that stretch in the chest. Final pulse. Final exhale, find deep relaxation here. On the inhale, you're coming up to center. Heading into yoga mudra, so bind the arms behind your back, look up, and on the exhale we're bowing forwards, keeping the chin up to the last second, then tucking it in. Pulse works on the inhale to lift off of the floor just slightly, before on the exhale going deeper into the pose, bringing the head towards the floor. Final pulse here. This is our union seal. So sealing in all of the prana. To complete, on the inhale we unravel our arms, we bring the arms above the head into Anjali Mudra or prayer, and then on the exhale we bring that down the central line of the body, plug our thumbs into our sternum and lower our chin. Then it's one breath to clear, inhaling, and then it's going to be an R breath to exhale, and fully release and clear the system, and then asana is complete.
And after all of that good work, it's time to shed our old skin. So bring yourself down into corpse pose or shavasana for our rebirth process. And we begin this process with 10 gentle and light breaths in the belly. So away we go.
Two more breaths. Last one. Before taking a Ujjayi breath in holding at the top for a couple of seconds before releasing with an R breath. And now I want you to relinquish the control of your body, breath, and thinking as you're in stillness. And we're going to do our 61-point body rotation. I'm going to say the body part and you're going to feel it. So bring your attention and your awareness and your feeling sense to the point between your eyebrows, to the pit of your throat, to your right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, tip of right thumb, tip of your index finger, tip of the middle finger, tip of the ring finger, tip of the little finger, right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, pit of throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, tip of the left thumb, tip of the left index finger, tip of the left middle finger, tip of the left ring finger, tip of the little finger, left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, pit of throat, sternum, right chest, sternum, left chest, sternum travelling down, navel, pubic bone, right hip, right knee, right ankle, tip of right big toe, tip of right second toe, tip of the third toe, fourth toe, tip of the right little toe, right ankle, right knee, right hip, pubic bone, left hip, left knee, left ankle, tip of left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, tip of the little toe, left ankle, left knee, left hip, pubic bone, navel, sternum, pit of throat, and the point between the eyebrows. Now, yogi, feel the whole body, whole body, whole body. Body rotation complete. You can stay here and absorb more of the nutrients from your practice should you wish, or you can get on with your day.